relatively healthy, which is always key, especially this late in the game. Didn't play a few kids. Bobby did not play a snap. Kyle didn't play a snap. Walter McClinton didn't play a snap on defense, and then Kerwin Williams didn't play a snap. A few other kids are very limited, but those are all just basically precautionary. They should be fine. A couple other kids, a little bit of injuries. We'll see if Nick Diaz can get his quad back this week. Hopefully he can get it out. We'll see where that goes. Otherwise, we're kind of tweaks. Travis is out for a little bit with his foot. He should be back hopefully for the game. So that's a little bit on injury update. If you guys want to talk about it. If you break down the scrimmage, the drive it, the offense was sustaining drives, finding a way to score, sustain drives. Whether it's an 80-yard field or a 60 or a 40-yard field, we got to score. I don't believe that happened in the scrimmage. If I can remember right, it's kind of hard to remember it all right now. In the red zone, offense got in there twice, 2 long passes, got down to the 1 yard line one time, and get in. And so it was 50% touchdowns in the red zone. It's better than the last scrimmage, but that's our goal on defense is get in the red zone. If we can stop 50% touchdowns, we're going to be pretty good. So we'll be able to score when we get out there. I thought the backed up scenario, the offense did a pretty nice job. The ones I think got out of there, both scenarios, got out of there, did a good job in the force field position. And so, overall effort, I thought it was good. It's very obviously we're still leg weary as a football team. There's no question about it. We're not as fast as we will be on game day, but that's where we should be right now. We still want it to be tough. A lot of teams in the country don't have another week of camp. We do have another week of camp, and we're going to treat it as such as we move forward. So gave them a little bit of a break the last couple of days to recover, but to say that they're full speed would not be a true statement at this point. So it'll be an interesting take to sit down and look at good and bad. I'm disappointed with the kicking. I'm disappointed with, for the first time in camp, with the snapping. Not the punt snapping. Very, very good. I thought it was crisp and clean. I think the dilemmas with the place kicking today was as much as the snapper as anybody else. Prior to today, the last 14 pressure kicks we've attempted in practice. With every pressure situation we possibly put on them. Josh Thompson was 14th and 14th, and today not so fast. So all that matters is what you did last. So obviously we started to get that situation we have to address, and we'll see where we go with that. But it was good, solid effort today overall.
What do you say about quarterbacks right now? I mean, what can you tell us?
Yeah, I can tell you this: we got to sit back and we got to make a decision, and we have to. It's time to move forward. We'll evaluate this tape extremely hard, and it's not just one scrimmage; it's all of camp because the 2 young men that are competing for that spot have been here for camp and camp only with Chucky. So it'll be a lot of time spent on that this weekend to turn around and make that decision, and we'll sit down and ultimately I'll sit down with Dave and Dave and I'll make the call, and we'll go with the young man and we'll compete, but we need to get it done. I'd like to be able to get done first next week and move forward, so the team knows exactly who's going to be the starting quarterback.
Is there any consideration to sharing of that job in games at all?
We may do something as far as sharing, but we're going to name a starting quarterback. We may put a guy in, a young man to take a series, but I do not want to walk into the Auburn game and say this guy's got first quarter, this guy's got second quarter. I'm not going to say the second quarterback's not going to have an opportunity to get a series here and there, but we will name a starter. And if it becomes obvious that it flops during the year, just like any position, we'll make a change if we have to make a change. But right now, we will walk into the Auburn game and we will name a starter for the Auburn game.
Well, isn't there, you've talked about it before, isn't there a position for Chucky no matter what, with running the ball or doing a series no matter what?
There is, no question. The dynamic that Chucky brings in the spread offense is obviously something that Adam can't do and is not going to be able to do. Just with the athletic abilities, more of a pocket passer. He needs to get back there and make good decisions. He's not going to avoid a bunch of sacks consistently. And that's something that we've all grown very used to here in the last few years with the quarterback. But there will be definitely that part of our offense will stay intact, especially when we look at our backs. And when Kerwin's out here healthy, running around and moving, he's one of our best 11 offensive football players. So he's been on the field as soon as Robert Turner. You sit back and look at those kids, and Michael Smith probably is too. So you got to find a way to play those kids.
Coach, where was Alec Alex today, and when did how did you guys get Tanner Curtis?
Well, with Alex is hopefully we'll see where Alex sits on Monday, exactly where the future lies, exactly what his situation is with the overall Wisconsin scenarios and his overall mindset and some decisions to be able to make in that scenario. But I'm not going to go any further than that today. We'll see what happens on Monday. But again, that quarterback picture is going to come very, very clean in a lot of ways. We need quarterbacks, and so we basically searched around and we saw the two young men out there today. And the reason we didn't scrimmage them is real simple, is because they're not through their acclimatization period yet, and they have to have those 5 days. And we want to put them in a position to be successful. So, Graham and Curtis kid, they're out here, they're going to run around and get their feet right. But one of those has got to be our third quarterback. And, I feel good about it. I thought just be watching in Skelly, that's not real easy. It's the first time they've thrown Skelly since they've been here. And they'll get some reps next week in practice and see who can jump up and be the third quarterback for us. So that'll be an interesting scenario. They're two good kids, and they're studying to catch up.
Looks like kind of interesting at cornerback what's going on for you a little bit with the new guys and then still the returning guys, and obviously Cameron out of there makes a difference and stuff. But it looks like you've got some depth at that position.
We do. Jamani's come in and done a nice job. He gave up a ball today. I was not, I'm not going to be negative. Everyone, but Terrence has come in and done some nice things for us. Nevin's been very solid all camp. Quentin Bird is so reliable with his knowledge of the defense. Quentin, say what you want where Quentin is, and with an opportunity to make plays, he's won 2 games on the last play of the game for us in the last 2 years. So he's a very important part of that corner crew, and getting Cameron back will be a big part of it. So there's a good crew of kids today. The young corners, they missed 2 calls, and actually one was a young corner, and the other one wasn't a not so young corner. But 2 blitzes that are critical blitzes, and they hit right with where you'd like to have a corner blitzing. And there's a couple of big plays and a couple third down scenarios. So that can't happen. That's a learning experience, and there's a lot of those situations that go on in the scrimmage today. But they're not junior college transfer players anymore. They've been here 2 weeks, and we got to look at them as players who are going to be on the field. We cannot make those mistakes in critical third down scenarios and do the defense.
What are you seeing in the trenches with your offensive and defensive line?
Well, it looked like the run game was fairly stout today, especially with the ones. I think the one defense was pretty stout in the run game. We didn't let a big run jump out on us like it did last week. Last week on defense, you look back, I believe it was 99, there was 30, and then a mid-20 run, I believe. I don't think there was a run that long today. Surely there was a 99-yarder. We held the runs down to a minimum. The rushing yardage was, we'll see where it sits. But overall, my guess is, looking at it, that we ran the ball fairly well with the ones, and didn't run the ball well at all with the 2s on offense. And obviously, when we got the ones on defense, stopped pretty well. The 2s did okay, good enough to be able to hold them out, to get them out of drives, except for basically the 2 red zone scenarios.
It seems like you have a pretty good handle on who your number 1s are, and you're still looking at number 2s and 3s. Is that correct?
On the defensive side first, there's quite a few ors. If you look at the 2 deep, and that's good. We want 22 defenders that can play. We want 6 defensive linemen with the odd front that we can get out and play. And having Tavares turn around and be the starter, and all of a sudden Reese comes in, he's a good player. He's going to put pressure on those outside backers to take a starting spot. So I would agree with that. I think we're fairly settled on our ones at this point. Especially on the offensive side, we're fairly settled. But then we're going to be, be by committee with those wide receivers and with our running backs because of what we do scheme-wise.
What has Coach Glenn told you this week while he's been here?
Coach Glenn's been awesome. I love to have an experienced coach. He's had tremendous success, obviously, at Montana, University of Wyoming. I competed against him for a lot of years when I was a coach at Utah. I had great respect for his teams in Wyoming, how hard they played, how committed they were, and I believe there's a lot of similarities in the steps that we're trying to take as a program as he was trying to take with his time at the University of Wyoming. So just an evaluation of how we practice, how we meet, how the kids act, their demeanor, how they carry themselves in the hard part of camp. He was able to spend some time with the young man, spend about a half hour talking to him, and there's a lot to learn. I by no any means have all the answers, and will never say I have all the answers. I'm always trying to learn, and it's just it's a great sounding board for me. And it's a great time for me to open up my ears and listen to a very, very fine coach that's won a lot of football games.
What did he tell you? Did he like what he said?
Yeah, he did. You know, he liked what he said. And I asked him, I said, come on, I can fly anybody in here and just tell me everything's great. So take a couple shots at me and see where he sits. And, you know, I would say if I looked at the things that a negative standpoint, not really negative, but observing this is, you know, key is going to be our offensive line. You know, how can our offensive line hold up and play consistently? The decision that you turn around and you make with an athletic quarterback versus Adam Kennedy, those are decisions you have to sit down and make, and those are big ones because that's really your offense. If you don't have a quarterback and you don't have an offensive line, I don't care. If you have Russell Walker with the ball in his prime, you got problems. Validated my thoughts there. It didn't make me sleep any better. It validated my thoughts. And, you know, defensively, moving to the odd front, he's experienced in the odd front. They did a lot of that at the University of Wyoming, and you know, he likes it. He's his offensive background and the way we're headed on the defensive side. I think he feels like we're moving in the right direction there. And the pieces to the puzzle are better than they have been. He saw us play a couple times last year. He broadcasted our games, and so he has a feel. So it was educational.
You said you didn't want to bring up any negatives. Do you want to bring up any negatives that you're worried about?
Yeah, I would say this from a scrimmage. And, you know, I'm not concerned about the kicking game. And we've got 6 young men in here, and I was sleeping pretty easy about the kicking game. And when I say it, I'm just talking field goal, strictly field goal. Our goal is real simple. We want to be able to get from the 22-yard line in and make the field goals. I mean, that's what we have to be able to do. I understand getting on the 35-yard line, getting on the 37, even the 33. That's not easy. There's not many teams in the country that consistently have a kicker that can make that. But we've got to get points on the board when the opportunity presents itself. And gosh, you know, it's just gone back and forth. Today was not good, and again today I'm going to say it was probably 6 snaps that weren't perfect. And Nate has been absolutely perfect all camp. And those kickers get so reliable on that snap and the timing and everything that's there. It really threw Josh off today, I believe. And, you know, I'm not making excuses for either one of them. It's a 3-man show with the snapper, the holder, and the kicker. But Mochi's going to get that ball down, and you know, we need to get better and continue to work on that. You see Josh's misses. He's not missing by much, but it doesn't matter. You don't get 1.5 points if you hit the crossbar or if it's wide right or left. You get 0. So we have got to be able to put those through the uprights, and that would be probably my number 1 concern right now. You know, there's always, I'm sure some other things will pop up in my brain as we go through it, but you know, we need to just we'll watch the tape and evaluate.
Howder seems to have a stronger.
He does. You know, and he came out here. Howder came out here last week and made the long ones. You know, he made I believe he made 2 47-yarders, and his situation is consistency. He's done a nice job of kickoffs. They give us what we need to get on the kickoffs. It gives us a chance to get the touchback, something that we struggled with last year, so or at least get it to the 1 or 2-yard line or deeper. But he'll be the long kicker. And we got to go out there and go win a game. He's proven he can do it. He's done a good job with it in camp. We gave him one of them today, and he didn't make it. I believe that was a 47-yarder we tried today that he missed for a long